Hello everyone, my name is Pat. Let's make a vase arrangement for a cemetery headstone. Deciding what flowers to use. Now it's time to cut the stems from the bush. As you can see, I'm using a basic wire cutter to get the job done properly. You can buy a floral wire cutter at most craft stores, but just go to the hardware store. I like to cut my stems at the base. As you can see, it's easier to trim them that way. Plus, you can use those extra little bits of stem that you have to trim up later on other projects. This is a half of a floral block. You can find these floral blocks at Walmart or about any other craft store. You can even get them at the Dollar Tree. Here I'm making a circle, equivalent to about the size of a standard headstone vase. Placing the stem within the center of that circle will protect the stem from displacement when you trim the foam later to fit the vase. You want to start with your largest, longest focal flower. You want to always get to know your flower by fluffing it out, making sure the leaves are all right. Push that leaf up to the bottom of the flower and then have one a little further down. That way you adds beauty to your flower, plus add some filler into your arrangement. Now I'm just going to start working around that flower and start my design process. Here I've chosen to work with my focal bloom instead of working in a line or a angle. We're going to work around it this time. Always remember to taper the height of your blooms downward, a little bit lower at a time. Here I've decided to use another floral that I hadn't originally put in the bunch. And it's going to have a larger stem. So you gently remove the head from the stem. If you've got a little tack of glue around the base of the head that's on its stem, just take your fingernail and slowly work that tack off, and then you can remove it. Be very careful though, or you will leave some of the stem up into the tube of the flower. And then all you got to do is just find you a longer stem or a different stem, put your leaves on it, and then put the tip of it in some hot glue. Just a drop will do. And then put your head right back on there. The hot glue will secure it so the wind won't blow it off while it's outside. Didn't like that placement. I like to have my blooms close together, but I don't want them touching. You need just a little bit of room in between of them to just kind of let them go. Look a little bit more natural. Here you'll notice that I like to match my florals with each side of the arrangement, kind of keep it in track and keeping my pattern going so that the arrangement will be balanced. Here you'll notice that I'm adding my fillers as I go. And when I do the circle around the focal flower like that, I just work my way down. Instead of working from side to side in layers, I just work my way down. And adding my main flowers as well as my fillers and my greenery in as I go along. There, I forgot to stick it in the hot glue skillet, so I just dabbed it with a little bit from the glue gun. However, you do it just so long as you get it secured, because these arrangements go outside, and there's rain, thunderstorms, windstorms, you name it, they get beat up out there in the cemetery, and you need to make sure that you have them glued down good, your heads are secured, and your stems are secured to your foam. That little bit of hot glue that goes in with your stem into the foam will kind of melt the foam around the stem and add a very good, stable, secure environment for each stem. You want to be careful not to add too much to each stem, though, or you'll end up with a big glob of glue there at the base of your foam where you need to add your next stem. We're going with some smaller roses here to use as a fill-in for around the bottom edge of it, of the arrangement itself. I think that just adds more texture and more beauty to your arrangement than filling it up with leaves or greenery or whatever that a lot of designers use. I didn't like the placement of that leaf. It was a little loose and just fell back down, so we touched it with a touch of hot glue. Keep it right in place. Here you'll see that I'm going through my stascia stems right there where I've cut them off and stuff. I save every stem I cut. Even the shortest of the shorts you can use in some arrangements. And just add your flower to that stem, and there you go. You've got it the size that you need it. Now determining where to put it. I try to always have a couple of backup bushes off to the side of my planned flower bushes that I'm going to use, because as you can see in this video, I go back and forth. I change my mind quite frequently while I'm designing. Now we're just going to do the final touches. Double check everywhere for gaps or flowers in the wrong spots, and we'll be ready to fluff it. There's another example of me reattaching a stem of a different size to a flower. Very easy to do. Just very easy. Just always make sure to put that drop of hot glue on the tip of your stem before you put your flower head on there. There I am, saving the stem. As you noticed in the beginning of the film, this was going to be a simple one large bush, a couple of smaller floral bushes for fillers, and some greenery. But I have ended up going through about 5 or 6 small floral bushes to get that right look that I like there. And that's perfectly fine. You have to start tweaking as soon as you start designing, because you can see it in your mind and it looks beautiful, but once you start putting it in the foam, you can see where you might want something else there. One tip I would add here at the end of this is a cemetery headstone base arrangement, so I wouldn't put a lot of money in it. They're going to be changed quite frequently, and they do face a lot of weather damage. So here we go, the final product. What do you think? I really would love to know what you think, so please comment down below. Tell me what you think about it. I look forward to our next design.